Welcome again to Silver Gold TV, your one place for all silver and gold related news. It came to my attention on my last video that it didn't really leave room for people that are new to silver stacking. It didn't really leave any, how would I say, I left a lot of things unsaid for people that don't really do the silver stacking or they're new to this. So I'm making this video to explain a lot of different terminology. The different terminology that you hear from silver stacking and from basically this whole thing. Terminology that I used on my first video, and I guess it's some sort of a follow-up video, considering that not everyone may know the terminology. I remember back when I started, that's what happened to me. I didn't quite understand all the terminology that was being said to me, so I might as well make a video that explains some of that terminology so that we all can get a better grasp of what I was saying, what we were doing, and what's going on. Alright, these will be my silver libertads again. Alright, first thing we gotta talk about is something called the gold to silver ratio. Without getting too much into detail, because I have a lot of terms that I want to go through with you, the gold to silver ratio basically means how much of these silver coins do I need to purchase the same weight in gold. Like, for example, by weight I mean like how many 1 ounce silver coins must I have to equal the value of a 1 ounce gold coin. More or less, that's basically what that means. It's almost like 100 to 1 right now, something around those lines. And people use this ratio to determine when they want to buy silver, when they want to buy gold. Personally, I always stack silver and gold, but at this time with the silver to gold ratio so different, so vastly out of proportion, silver is seriously undervalued, so that's where I'm putting my money right now. Other terms: stacking. Stacking basically means people that or people that are like to buy silver and, like, buy in big quantities. That's called silver stacking or gold stacking. That's the terminology there. That's basically straightforward. Premiums. I mentioned premiums earlier. I didn't realize that people that have never bought silver before don't realize what a premium is. And a premium is basically what the store charges you for the privilege of buying silver at their store. It's what they make from a difference, because they have to buy it at their providers. It's like anything. Like when you buy a car for $2,000 and you can try to sell it for $2,500 if you want to make a profit. So premiums are more or less around the same thing. And when I was saying that premiums were really high, is historically, well, this will be a close-up of the silver libertad. Historically, we've had not historically, I would say, but for a long time, if the silver spot price, which you could find online, you could look up silver spot price online. All the websites would give you what the spot price is on a daily basis. Goes up, goes down. Right now it's going up, but it came down quite a bit. To a shocker to a lot of silver stackers out there, the silver spot price dropped really low, and the premiums shot up really high. And that's what brought me to my idea of getting silver libertads instead, so I could get a better buck for my money, dollar premiums. So those are premiums, and that's what spot price is. Another term that we need to talk about is inflation. Inflation, it's not necessarily a silver stacking term. Inflation is what happens with everything. I think the Treasury Department has always said that 2% inflation a year, it's a good economy. So regardless of what's going on, inflation's always happening, and at times of peril, people will come to silver, people will come to gold as safe havens. That's what makes making the premiums higher. People are more willing to pay more for their silver, just for the same reason that they want to protect their money. They want to make sure they could protect against inflation. Inflation happens, and has happened in other countries like Venezuela, has happened in other countries like Germany not long ago. What happens basically is your dollars or your country's currency gets overprinted, it loses its value, and that's when these babies come into play, because these protect you against that. It puts a protection against inflation. Silver will always hold its value, its real value, not the value given to it, and that's why a lot of silver stackers stack silver, which we consider it real money. Another term is real money. Real money is a term we use for physical, tangible silver, gold, because this cannot be printed. This is yours. Once you have this in your hand, it's an unmistakable feeling. Like once you have this in your hand, you just cannot. It's an incredible feeling. It's an unexplainable feeling that you honestly have to experience for yourself. The feeling of protection, the feeling of knowing that this is yours and no one can take the value away from it unless they take it from your hands, which is another situation. And there's also fiat money. We call this real money, and we call fiat money currency. Currency is what our dollars are. Our dollars are currency. Our dollars are currency, and that's fiat money. And I'm sure you heard of this. Fiat money has no sustainability, and sooner or later comes back down to what it's worth, and its true value is zero. It's happened in many other countries when they start overprinting money, and I'm sure you've seen what's going on with the free money we're all getting. I mean, if that doesn't wake you up, that in the US of A, we're getting free money in the mail, and they're talking about more free money. If that doesn't wake you up, I don't know what will. Frankly, as a silver stacker myself, it really scares me. It scares me, and it gives me a sense of security that I still have, or that I made a proper investment, and it's not too late for you to protect your money, your assets against whatever comes down the line. We cannot predict what happens, but we could prepare for the worst and expect for the best. That would be fiat money. And this is the real money that we consider protection against government issued. All right, now there's two different types. Well, I would say three different types of silver. Three different types of silver. The first type of silver that is what I have here is government issued silver coins. Like this coin is a Mexican government backed coin. I also have the American Silver Eagles, which again are very beautiful, and again that's the seal of approval. That's the American Silver Eagle, and it's government backed, in this case by the US government. So that's what government issued physical silver is. Now there's generic silver. I do not have an example of generic silver with me at the moment. I must have left it, in the room. But it's basically worth the same amount. It's 0.999 silver. It's the same purity, but it's not backed by a government seal. It's generally cheaper, and that would be generic silver. It's generally cheaper than government issued silver, and there's generally a less premium on it. But we don't. It's up to you whether you want a government issued coin or a generic silver coin. Now, I hope I don't get too much hate for this, but I have to talk about the third type of silver. The third type of silver is paper silver. I, as a silver stacker, I love to have my silver in hand. As so should anybody, to protect against everything that's inflation, everything that's related to that. But we have to take into account the fact that paper silver is there and people make a lot of money off of it, and there's no reason for us not to take advantage of that when we can. Give you a big example of that. When the market said the spot price of silver came down to like $14, $50, $15, you could not find any coin, Mexican issue, generic, American issue. You could not find any silver coin $1 or $2 over spot, which was normally the case. That's what we would get. So now that you hear that, paper silver was the only place you could get. So stocks, even though I might get some hate on this one, stocks were the only place you get silver at spot price. So I went against my natural instinct of not having paper, of not having physical silver, and I actually made some money. I bought some stocks in different silver and gold miners, and it came to be that was the only place you could buy the silver shares for $14, $15, and now they're well over $24, $25 each. So I didn't have that much money at the time, but I made some money on that. So even though I might get some hate on the silver stacking world for admitting that there is some advantages to paper silver, there's some advantages to everything. And if you're here to make money, and if you're here to invest, this is where you want to be, because I'm not going to be close-minded to any possibility. And Silver Gold TV will get you where you want to be, where you want to go. And this is the place to get all the information that we all need. And if you have something that I'm missing, let me know in the comments. I would appreciate your input. If you want to say that paper silver is no real silver, you can go ahead and say that in the comments. It's fine by me. I'm just saying that if you're here to make money, let's be open-minded. And if we're here to protect against what we have to protect against, you know what to do. So let me know. This again is Silver Gold TV, and I'm here to let you know everything that we have to know to keep stacking. Keep it real, guys.